I'm going to write a note to myself. Excuse me. Continue
throw
talking.
out some vocabulary or technical terms. So like you were explaining to Candace, you don't always have to go with the spread.
Correct.
You could just pick one team outright to win.
Correct. That's considered the money line.
The money line.
Oh, that's called the money. Let me write that down. Money line.
You'll see it say ML.
Oh, okay. Now, when I tell you I'm writing notes, because I'm going home to try this. Money line.
She's about to be risking it tonight. She's going to get home for those 10 o'clock games to get those bets in.
And then the other one is called taking a spread, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Kaylin, tell me what it means when someone says they want multiple streams of income. Tell the people. Why do the people need multiple streams of income?
COVID says it all. What's the difference between having an LLC for your business and being trademarked?
For me, I'm trying to get multiple streams of income because I'm trying to retire early. 62, can't do it.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode on the Stream Chaser Show. You got myself, Kaylin.
And I'm Candace.
And we're glad that you're here joining us on another good episode. This is episode 24 in the books.
Is it?
Episode 24.
All right.
In the books. That's something. That's a whole year.
It is. A year for us, because we only got 52, because we do every other.
Yeah,
so 24.
Yeah, let's emphasize that.
Yes.
Yes, 24 every other week.
Exactly.
2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's been a journey.
It has been. We've come a long way from the old room,
yeah,
right, to the new room.
Right.
That's where we at. Okay, we did a little website refresh. We done a little logo update, or not the logo update. What is the little picture thing on the little YouTube? Yeah, the little.
They call it cover art.
Okay, so there you go, a cover art update.
Yeah, cover art or whatever. But yeah, it's always evolving.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what we want to see, and that's what y'all should want to see.
Exactly.
Y'all want to see it stay the same. Mm-hmm. But yeah, before we get too much into the episode 24, you know how we always got to start. We got to tag up with each other. So, Candace, what's been going on with you? It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Since we tagged up with each other and like let everybody know what's been going on.
I agree. Let me see. So, I think I told y'all I had officially got my LLC. So that meant that I can officially open a business banking account. Your girl got a business debit card. Let me find out. Okay. So I'm excited about that. Wait till I get to the business credit though. Then we really gonna be doing something.
Yeah.
So the top of the year meant refreshing things for the business. Like I decided so the Etsy platform is kind of like any other platform you sell on, or any good platform you sell on. Sometimes it gives you like tips and tricks. Like, you should consider offering free shipping. You should consider this. And they get you into like buyer psychology. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try free shipping. Free shipping is tricky though. And I want to say that it's tricky because it depends on where your customer base is, right? Okay. Like, so anybody that I ship to on the Eastern Seaboard, pretty much up to like Chicago, when I'm shipping out, it's like $8 a package, right? I know that just from years worth of selling, but when I ship to like Cali, it's like $20 a package. But when you do free shipping, you can't differentiate. The price is the price. So what you end up doing is kind of deciding. So my, I would say if I had my customers base split is like 75-25. So 75%-ish Eastern Seaboard, 25 to 30% like Texas, California.
Gotcha.
So I had to lift the price, not so much that it would be cost prohibitive for my Eastern Seaboard folks, but that I wouldn't lose every time I ship to Cali, right? Because that's not a thing that I normally would take on the head. They would normally pay it themselves. Right. But I will say that the change in free shipping has had an uptick in sales. Like, it's amazing. And I don't know why that surprised me, because I don't know how many times you go put something in your cart and you be like, yeah, I'm about to buy that. And then they add on the shipping, you be like,
Yeah, be a little blown.
Be like, maybe I'm gonna wait for a second. Let me let it rinse over me. Or the trick they do is like add $15 more to your cart and then it's free. And be like, well, I'm gonna add $15 because I'm not paying this $8 in shipping, which is ridiculous. But it's the way that we think as buyers. So it's turned out okay. And then I guess the next thing up on the list is trying to. I told you I wanted to do that workshop in March. You know, with the COVIDs out here and the Omarions and all the things. I don't know. I'm still working on how I want to do that. I still think it's a good idea. I still think I want to do it, but I'm working on like the logistics to it. But I need to figure that out rapido, because March will be here in no time.
Right. Now, it's interesting that you mentioned something about, you know, the workshop that you want to do. So, you know, for the last several episodes, we've talked about like our journey to try to find a space and everything.
Yes.
So it's interesting, and I don't think I ever told you this, but it's like when we go out looking at spaces, or whenever I'm on the internet looking at spaces, I always just like pay attention to like the appearance of everything.
Oh yeah.
Because it was something you said whenever you first announced it on whatever episode that was, but you had mentioned that you didn't just want to have it in whatever event space or space that was available, because you want to make sure that it aligns with your brand. Right. So it's funny that you say that, because every space that I look at, I think of, so just to fill you in, as a part of that space, I want it to be an area where somebody can come in and rent. Oh, okay. You know, rent out and stuff like that. Not a huge space, but something that's like intimate. Yeah. And I think about it, or whenever I see it, I always think, would Candace want to rent this space for her workshop classes? Yeah. Because, you know, somebody that's into fitness might want to come in, but will I be able to attract or draw a whole separate different business industry? So I'm always thinking about that when you...
I'm glad I could be of help,
it's just, you know, service. Another layer of something to think about.
Yeah, it is. It's I think it matters in some industries more than others. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, and given what I do, given the prettiness, the frilliness, the, you know, daintiness of the industry, that matters. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so that's what I've been up to, is trying to... Oh, and baby went to... So y'all know, when we first started this in February last year, I had just had a baby. Like, literally like a month and a half before that. Like, she was like 6 weeks old at home. So big shout outs to my husband, because he was doing that. But she started daycare this week. This is her first week of daycare. And I was very paranoid and very like, they send pictures via app. So that's been very helpful. But the amount of time that I have gotten back has been like, it has been crazy. So I am very excited about that, because that allows me to plan my day a little different. I use this week to like get my head on straight, drink coffee, and take naps. But next week we going at it. Oh yeah. 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 Oh, congratulations. Thank you. What about you?
Like I said, spaces, of course, but just grinding, like with everything. My wife's business, you know, Go Stretch, she got some things that's coming up really soon.
Yeah, I seen y'all taking FSA and HSA now. I seen the announcement.
Well, that's been going. That's been going. We did that from the beginning, but we got some other...
I saw a post about it, so I thought it was new.
Oh, yeah. Nah, that's just to remind people, because it's the top of the year.
Oh, right.
And that's when people's HSA. So a little tidbit. Yeah. But people that are in that type of industry... Like January is a great, or you want to start marketing it at the end of December. Okay. Because that's when people get it on their mind. Like, oh, well, let me put some dollars to my account. Okay. Because I might want to get that service. And if you're in that type of field that can accept HSA or FSA, it's a great thing for your business. Okay. Great thing. I don't know what she said off camera, but I'm not even gonna mess up the vibe. But one day we're gonna get her own little mic so she can be engaged.
I agree.
But nah, that's what I've been up to, just grinding with the business, and just trying to see what are we gonna do, possibly, you know, with this maybe potentially live show. Okay. You know, with the COVID and everything going around, and trying to manage the COVID. The COVID.
The COVIDs, okay?
Trying to manage, you know, like the guests and all that type of stuff. But that's what I've been up to.
All right. I see you with your USA jacket on today. You into the sports?
Well, you know, that's you know, well, the Olympics is right around the corner.
Is it?
Yep.
When I tell you I do not pay attention. Okay.
The Winter Olympics, and it just so happened that this is from one of the Winter Olympics from 2010. So,
okay, look at you.
Yeah, so
the sports.
But that's interesting that you brought that up with the Olympics, because that's a perfect segue into what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you haven't engaged in this, you've seen somebody on the Instagram, Facebook, or in your home that has engaged in this. And that's this whole business of sports betting now. It's been a thing. It's been a thing for years. But now all of a sudden, you know, because it's starting to become legal, especially in our area, state of Maryland, everybody's on it. So yeah, that's like the big wave now, and it's here to stay. It's not going nowhere.
And this is not like when I go to the convenience store and I see the old man watching the race ponies on the he's sitting at the keno table. This is not that.
Nah.
Okay. I'm just verifying.
Yeah, but you can win some money on them joints. Watching the little horses race down the tracks. I would hope
so, because they be at the convenience store all day, shutting that thing down. Okay.
Yes,
all right, so that's not this kind of sports betting.
Nah,
okay.
Nah. So,
just checking.
So I guess I don't have to ask, have you ever engaged in sports betting?
Not even a little bit.
No problem. Well, today you're going to get educated.
Okay, and I'm ready. I got questions.
It's not so much by me, but we got our guest today. Y'all have seen him before, not too long ago, a few episodes ago, where he talked about you know, like, what is it like competing in an industry that's saturated but still standing out on its own. We got none other than Z joining us back on the Stream Chaser show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. And you know, some of y'all might be wondering, like, well, what Z? You know, he make the great clothing line and you know, all that type of stuff. What he doing there? Line.
I like that.
What is he doing there? But Z has been doing this sports betting for a minute. Got some years in it. Way before this thing became trendy. Okay. Where everybody want to post their little win-ins on Instagram and stuff. He's been doing it. Yeah. So, like I said, y'all know his background already. You know, y'all can catch up on the episode, you know, in our history to get him some of his business background. But today we're here to talk about these parlays. And how can you come up on these parlays. And before we get too much into it, you're going to preface it with anything that you hear today, use it at your own risk.
Don't be out here betting your 401k and saying Stream Chaser
I can show you some of these losses I've taken. And it's real. So just forewarn you.
Okay.
But now that we got that out the way, we can get into it.
Okay.
So Z, tell us and tell the people, how long have you been doing just betting in general?
Ooh, betting. I started betting in 2005.
2005.
I was in college. I was a freshman. My uncle always betted, so I used to always sit and watch him place his bets, do his thing. And when I started getting my own money around college time, for real, and trying to, you know, flip some money, keep some money in my pocket, I started putting in my own bets, straight bets and parlays, man. I've been here ever since.
How did you do that then?
Online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, online. So basically the online betting site that I'm with, I've been with them since like 04. 05.
Okay.
So and they're still around. Like even now to this point, they don't even accept new U.S. users and stuff like that. So it's a lot of different type of, you know, betting, and I'm sure we can discuss that. But I was at that time, it was strictly online. And yeah, it was other little local bookies later on in college, but mainly online. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Now that's interesting that you say that, because I mean, I got exposed to betting early on, but never did my own hand in it. But I was exposed to it, right? And when I was in college, my man who lived in Forestville, he used to be on the Madden. But he would be playing these games for like big bread. Okay. Like $500, $600 Madden games. And I'm like, how are you doing this joint? And he would be in his dorm room playing this joint. And I'm like, how are you doing that? And he was like, oh, it's a little site where I'm betting. He was like, I just use a Washington, D.C. address or whatever. And I don't know the legalities or the logistics of it, but after you win, you getting that money.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, and you never had to meet the person.
Okay.
So I was like, that was a cool way. Like Z said, if you in college, and just imagine you in college, you don't have that many bills. Maybe you might be responsible for a cell phone bill. You might have, I mean, your rent. But you know, if people lived off campus, I wasn't one of those.
No, me either.
But there was some that lived off campus that had the nicer home, you know, the nicer places. But but you don't have no real obligations,
right?
So all your money's going to clothes and shoes off of these games and betting and stuff.
Okay, now so you started in 04, 05.
Right.
You just wanted to try your hand and see what you could slide in your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, I've been into sports for a long time.
Okay.
You know, just watch sports, just watching different things and seeing what's going on. And, you know, I mean, mainly when you bet, back then I was mainly betting on football, basketball, a little here and there basketball. Basketball is so much going on.
Okay.
So many games. So many, you know, and even now it's even way worse with all the, you know, load management, people taking rest and stuff like that. Now COVID. Yeah. So you got to factor in a lot. But yeah, like back then it was just basketball and football. Okay. But now I'm
about to say, you say back then, so what's happening now?
I'm betting tennis, soccer. You know, you name it.
If it's available,
if it look right,
Do you need to know about the sport to bet on it? Because this feels like I should not do this if I don't know nothing about tennis or soccer.
I mean, I would say like, you know, in the beginning, maybe not. It's at your own risk.
Now it is at my own risk.
Now,
yes.
You know what I mean? In the beginning, I'm like risky, but I'm learning as I'm betting.
Okay.
So, you know, you get better and better over time. You start seeing how, you know, bets go. But like with soccer, baseball, hockey, stuff like that, typically, because there's, you know, you got spreads, and spreads would be the amount of points that you have to win by, typically.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Like most of the time, if a team is favored, then they're minus whatever that number is. So for instance, the Wizards play the Raptors tonight.
Okay. Take it slow. Wizards is playing the Raptors. Got it.
So for instance, the Wizards playing the Raptors tonight.
Okay.
The Raptors are like favored by 1.5 or 2 points.
Okay.
Meaning that they got to win by 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because -2.
But did you know where you would see that at?
What?
So I just want to make sure this don't go over everybody's heads. So as he said, the Wizards play the Raptors tonight.
We need a whiteboard.
Like it would be perfect if we was on ESPN right now.
Use the little screen.
So as the little stroller goes by, it's going to show Wizards Raptors.
Yes.
Besides one of those teams, it's always going to be a number in parentheses.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen it before.
I'm sure.
And you probably just never pay no attention to it.
Okay.
But that is, speaking to Z's point, that's telling you what the spread is for the bets right there on ESPN.
And so they're saying in that the Raptors are going to win by 3, or the odds are the Raptors will win by 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? So in a bet like that, you know what I mean, you can take that bet. If you take the Raptors, that means, you know, they have to win. But if you take the Wizards, that means they can't lose by no more than 3. So if you get the Wizards +2, you're protected up to 2 points. Oh. But if they lose by 3, you lose that bet.
You lose the bet because that means the Raptors won by 3. I mean,
correct.
The opposite. Okay, all right. Let me think about it. Let me digest it. If I take the Wizards and they lose by 1, I'm still good.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think I'm following.
Yeah.
So now, does my spread and the results of the game? So the example I gave, the Wizards lost by 1, let's say, right? How much I win is determined by the spread?
Well,
or the
every
outcome?
spread, typically each line, spread and line is pretty much the same.
Okay.
Each spread basically has a cost.
Oh, okay.
So depending on what that cost is will determine what how much you win. So
okay.
Typically, like the standard, you'll see if it's just like a standard bet, you'll typically see -110.
Okay.
Which basically means, essentially, if you bet $110, you'll win 100.
Okay.
So basically, you'll win that 110. I mean, your 110 that you bet plus your 100.
Okay.
Now, if you was to bet $55 on that, then you basically win 50.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. Now if you bet it to the dollar to make your winnings evened out, you'll be fine. So of course I would have to bet 220 to win 200.
Okay.
330 to win 300.
Okay.
But if you was to put 300 on that bet, it's gonna be a little less than. It's probably like 280 and some change.
And some change.
However they break the fractions off or not. But,
okay.
Yeah, it's all in kind of like typically basically like the probabilities and the odds.
So it's statistics.
Yeah, it's stats.
This feels very
and it's statistics across the board.
Yeah.
okay.
Like,
Right, because the
like
players,
I
I passed stats class with flying colors.
had to take it twice in college.
I definitely went to summer school.
Yeah, I had to take that joint twice.
I passed that joint with flying colors, and he said if you don't remember nothing else out of this stats class, remember you can make statistics say whatever you want them to say.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and at this point that is all I remember. So there's that.
I just remember it was way more than the median and the mode.
Yeah.
It was way more, it was way harder than that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It was way harder than that stuff.
Then
So-
advanced stats.
Yeah.
Let me wrap my mind around this. Okay,
Yeah, so we want to make sure we go slow, make sure everybody understands.
because let me tell you, I won $500 on a scratch off this week. Today, no, was it today? Yesterday, in fact. And so that's about where my betting knowledge, that's about where it ends, right? I buy the $3 ticket and I win or I lose. The end.
Yeah.
So if it says negative 110, right, which means the bet is 100. How much am I paying for that? Am I paying the 100? Is that what's happening?
So you'll pay that 110.
Okay.
If you win that bet, you get the money that you used to wager plus the winnings.
Plus the winnings, because I was like, I'm not seeing the benefit.
Correct.
I
so
got
basically to bet 110, your payout will be two.
Okay, this makes sense to me. And the bigger the spread is generally the better the.
If it's the standard spread, now say for instance, like I was looking at one, somebody tonight is favored by like 13.
Okay, so make it make sense. The bigger the spread, the more you win.
Well, no, not actually. So like if it's just a standard spread, so like for instance, somebody tonight is favored by like 13 points.
Okay.
So if a team is favored by that much, and it's just the standard spread that they put out for that day.
Okay.
And when I say they, I mean Vegas. Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Vegas controls the lines and everything.
Oh, really?
Like
Interesting.
Yeah, so basically, when they put that spread out, all spreads typically are in that 110 range. Some of them you may see like that may cost like 105 or 115.
Okay.
But those are quote unquote just the price of the spread. It just changes the odds a little bit, but not significantly. Now, like where it comes in where you can win more money is like say for instance, Dallas is playing the Jaguars.
Okay.
Dallas was a great, they had a pretty good regular season this
Okay.
year.
Mm-hmm.
So they playing the Jaguars. Jaguars are like one of the bottom two teams.
Okay.
They are going to be favored by a higher number.
Yes.
But if you was to bet that the Jaguars will win straight up, then that gives you can bet less and win more. Because you're taking a bigger chance.
Because the underdog, bigger chance.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what that sound like? That's the easy bet. It's a risky bet.
It's risky.
It's risky.
And they sometimes hit.
I'm about to say, but it's it's the easier one to take rather than the spread situation. It's kind of like when you play roulette and it's like red or black. Yeah. That's me. I'm basic. Red or black. It's gonna be black this time.
Right. So sometimes it'll show you this. So what this says is if the Raptors was playing the Wizards and let's just say the Wizards is plus 12. Okay. Right? Sometimes, and I'm going to ask Z, sometimes I would go with this bet if, like, because sometimes the upset or the loser or the underdog does come out and win. Mm-hmm. So I'm not that confident that the better team might actually beat them by 12 points. Okay. So I go with the underdog. Okay. And like Z explained, I'm going to go with the underdog because that means if they don't beat them by at least 12. Right. Or more than 12. I win the bet. Okay. But they can also win, and correct me if I'm wrong, Z, they can also win, and I win the money too.
Right, as long as they don't win by 12.
Well, no, the Wizards win by 1 or 100. If you bet with the Wizards plus 12,
okay,
they can win by 1 or 100. If they win regardless, you won your bet because you're protected up to 12 points.
Okay.
The Wizards can lose and you still win that bet because you have that 12-point cushion.
Okay.
And that's why I love these bets.
So in that case, like what Kaylin was just explaining, and your question before was saying, like, if you take the underdog when you win more money, if you take the underdog and take the spread, you're winning less money versus if you was take the underdog and take them straight up. Okay. Meaning that they will win straight out. Okay. So there's a lot of different bets that you can, ways
you can do the underdog with a spread. Or the underdog and straight up.
The underdog and spread is safer than the underdog and straight up.
I got that because the underdog and spread allows them to lose or whatever. It gives you some cushion. So, and none of these bets are, even though they have a dollar figure next to them, you don't have to bid the whole dollar figure or wager the whole dollar figure. The dollar amount is typically used to kind of show you the odds. I've never been able to verbalize it. and I said I've been betting since 05. I've never been able to verbalize it for real. But in a sense, when I see it, I'll be like, okay, yeah, you probably gonna get this amount of money from that, and I be spot on because I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to
I'm gonna write a note to myself. Excuse me. Continue
throw
talking.
out some vocabulary or technical terms. So, like you were explaining to Candace, you don't always have to go with the spread. Correct. You could just pick one team outright to win.
Correct. And that's considered the money line.
The money line.
Oh, that's called the money. Let me write that down. Money line.
You'll see it say ML.
Oh, okay. Now, when I tell you I'm writing notes, because I'm going home to try this. Money line.
She's about to be risking it tonight. She's going to get home for those 10 o'clock games to get those bets in.
And then the other one is called taking a spread, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
But what you'll see is so many ways to play the game. So Z's hit on money line. You've hit on the spread for the underdogs and the favorites. But then there's also a thing called the over-under. Right. Can you explain that one?
Okay.
So the over-under is basically the total amount of points from both teams. So for instance, the Raptor Wizards, say if the over-under is 200.
Okay.
So combined, the total amount of points at the end of the game combined, is it going to be over or under that 200? Okay. And that has its own costs as well, too.
And are there like, okay, so if let's say the over-under is 200, is it like, so let's say it was 205. What the result of the game ended up being 205. Correct. How do I take that bet?
Well, like, how do I? Before the game. So if you take the over, then if it's 205, it's over the 200.
And there's no number on the over or under. It's just it's over or under.
Number is the over under has a number. So if it says if it'll have an O/U. Okay. So if it has O/U 200, that basically means that over under is 200. If you place the over on that bet, that means anything 201 and above, you won.
And anything 200 below,
199 and below is under.
That's on you.
200 is considered a push, and a lot of times they do push. So in that same bet, you might get the over under may be 210 and a half.
Oh, wow.
Or 200 and a half.
Okay.
So then you can't push on that bet. So it's like, okay, if that 200 and a half, if it hit 200, you won. Because the 200 is under 200 and a half. You took the under. But if you took the over, it got to be 201 and above.
I see.
So that's why they be having them half points. Because I've never understood.
Because it's like you can't get a half point in the game.
Yeah. So they making sure somebody wins
and somebody loses. Okay, look at that. I don't know. Now, how does this work in an industry like hockey where they only be having like 3 points in a game?
Hockey, you might see it over under 5.5, 4.5.
Right.
Hockey games typically. The highest spread you're going to see on a hockey game typically is like 5.5 or 6.
Okay.
Anything beyond that is typically like,
you
know what I mean? It happens, but it's not
it's
like.
It's not. Yeah. They be excited to have like 3 points in a game.
Yeah. Okay. 2-0 might be the norm.
It might be the norm, exactly. So I'm like, what the spread look like on that? So on something like a hockey game, you might be doing the money line as opposed to a spread situation.
See how quick you figured that out?
Look at me.
So that was another thing I was going to say. So in hockey, baseball, soccer. Mind you, they're all similar sports. That the scores are within 1 or 2 points typically.
Yeah,
and, they go by one. So typically they're low scoring games. So when that happens, when you are betting, the over under is going to be kind of low, or you take the money line.
Okay,
it's not always safe to take the spread because they do offer spreads. But the spreads in those games are -1.5, +1.5.
Yeah,
always
right.
Because typically nobody wins by more than 2. In baseball, hockey, or soccer often. So if you take the -1.5, and a lot of times that's your higher odd bet in those sports because the higher risk.
Okay,
but more often when you're betting those sports, you're betting over unders and money lines.
Gotcha.
Look at me. Let me write the over under down. I'll put it down because the Super Bowl is coming. Okay, and I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get into this, because like Hannah said, you got the Super Bowl coming up. We're in the middle of the basketball season, All-Star break about to come up.
A lot of things.
Yes, it's a lot of sports coming up, so it's not a traditional way of income. But it's an income stream that you can really be cashing in.
Yeah, I mean, it's an income stream.
And I would say, they talked about when the pandemic hit, everybody got creative. Trying to figure out ways to make money. Ever since the pandemic hit, betting has, took off. You just see, I'm talking about women are betting. Yeah, it's crazy. It was never like that before.
I mean, it makes sense, right, when you think about it, because people can't go to sporting events like they used to and enjoy them in the way they used to. So it's like, if I'm the sports industry, me, right in this chair, the whole sports industry, what am I going to do to make sure people are keeping eyes on the game, right? So that we're keeping ad dollars and all the things. And we got to get this betting out here. Listen, get them out here. Because I know the MGM over in the National Harbor was building a whole sports betting thing. I don't know if it's finished yet, but the last time I walked through, they was still doing the thing. So it's open, and you can go and just sit and sports bet all day.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. It's a thing. And the first time I really saw that was in 2013. I was in the Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
At the Atlantis, and they have the casino in there. And it was Sunday. It was opening week, football's week 1 of the season. And we're in there just chilling, and you see everybody at the joint putting in the bets, and that was the first time I really saw this, physically. And I'm dang, I'm oh, this is a real thing. And these men, women too, literally sitting at the bar all day watching all the games. But it's they got big money on these joints, and I kept seeing them walking over to place their bets. But like I said, I didn't know what I was really watching. Yeah. But I was I knew it looked cool. And I wanted to be a part of it.
It's funny because I've been to Vegas a few times. So I just went to Vegas in November, I think. That's about right. Maybe December. Anyway, and I've been to Vegas a few times over a couple of different years. So maybe 3 times. This last time I went, we always stay on the Strip, but this time we stayed at the MGM, I want to say, the Grand. And the sports betting, they revamped it so that the sports betting area is so large. They not playing no games. They got the recliners in there. They got the weight. They want you come,
make it comfortable,
take a seat, stay all day. You know what I mean? Which is different because usually, they used to dedicate a lot of floor space to slots and table games and stuff, right? Where they can actively see you betting and whatever. They're taking a risk, and obviously they know the risk is beneficial, because if I'm sitting in a recliner all day watching the games, I could just be watching the games, but they know people are sitting in these chairs and they gonna bet, and it's worth the investment. Yeah.
And to hit on this, and I know Z can give us a little bit more into it. But you hit on something, because like you say, you sitting there all day comfortable, right? And even if you have already placed your bet in the beginning, what I've come to learn, if you're in the right location, you can play an in-game bet.
Live bets.
Which is so clutch.
What is that?
All right. So I would say live bet. I started live betting probably about 2.5, 3 years ago, I would say. Okay. My brother put me onto it. So on the site that I was telling you that I use, they do live betting, and pretty much so a game could be in the middle of the game, any point in the game. And then they will, with the live bets, they typically make different lines available, spreads, or different type of bets. So, for instance, if the Wizards playing the Raptors, and the Raptors up 20 in the third quarter, you can do a live bet, and it'll give you a live bet line, and it say it may be, if that time the Raptors up 20, it may be that you can bet that the Raptors could win by 23 to win the game.
Yeah.
So if they already up 20, you think, I know they can win by
could
3
win
more.
by
They can score
23.
again. They crushing these people. You can place that live bet, and in the same fashion on my end, I can say, man, the Wizards probably going. They might lose, but I got plus 23. They can come back a little bit.
Yeah.
I can take the opposite bet.
Yeah.
Or you can bet them. Sometimes even in football, it's really a thing because this year, a lot of teams. A lot of underdogs, like on the prime time games. A lot of the underdogs were coming back and winning games. So like in football, it'd be the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, whatever. You seeing how it's going. A team is down, and that live bet may be more beneficial to you because you think that team's still going to win. You place that live bet, you can put some money on it. Say, it may be. Say if the Rams playing the Lions and the Lions are down 10, fourth quarter. That live bet may be plus 500.
Oh.
What that means, basically, if you bet 100, you win 500.
Yeah.
So, if you bet 10, you win $50.
Okay.
So, you can bet less and have a higher chance to
pay out because at that point, I guess they are more certain of the outcome. So the live bets is like because they're watching the game and updating the stats and all that kind of stuff.
It's Vegas. They do more than watch the games. It's to the point like they know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah,
I swear, I be thinking. I tell
rigged.
Mickey this all the time. Like like you really start to see where these conspiracy theorists be talking, like the way they think, because it's like, how the heck did y'all know that the Brooklyn Nets or the other team or the Grizzlies was going to come back on the Brooklyn Nets? Because, I only played a live bet once.
Okay.
So, I was across the bridge placing my bets for, later that night. So, then I'm looking. I'm like, oh, I see this live. The joint just, highlighting. It wants you to play it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, I'm like, dang, Brooklyn Nets is fourth quarter. They crushing the team. And this is KD before KD was hurt.
Yeah.
So KD, James Harden playing. And I think, like Z was saying, I think it was the Nets will win by 13.
Okay.
They had the team up already by 14, 15.
Okay.
And it was fourth quarter, 7 minutes to go.
Okay.
There's no way they losing.
Yeah.
Why did the team come back and win the game?
Wow.
Yep.
And I was feeling good because I thought this was easy money. Granted, I know I wasn't going to win that much because it was the favorite.
You were taking the favorite,
but I put $50 on the joint, and I don't put $50 on no
because you
bets.
felt confident. You was like, yes, this will be the thing.
And I swear, when I got home, Mickey was like, "Oh, you got your bets?" And I was like, "I already lost." Before I even got home, I literally drove
over
and
there.
lost $50.
Yeah,
like that.
Wow.
But that's why we say stream chasers.
Listen,
do it at your own risk.
Don't be taking the profit from your business that you're supposed to turn around and reinvest in the business to be out here doing the best. Okay, this is your McDonald's money. Okay, this is the money you was gonna spend at Chick-fil-A, and you wasn't supposed to be there anyway. Put that on this. Okay. Listen, I'm trying to figure it out. So you can do hockey, soccer, tennis, football, baseball, basketball. Is that about it? That's the major ones?
Boxing.
Man, you can bet on boxing. You can bet on NASCAR. You can bet on
even these
golf.
celebrity boxing
you can bet on
matches.
golf?
Yes, you can bet on almost anything.
Jake Paul against the dude.
It was one. It was like a halftime show. Sometimes they make funny. They put stuff on there and they consider prop bets or whatever. But it was something.
Now what that mean? Prop bet?
Yeah, what's a prop bet? I've seen that.
Prop bet is, for instance, if say Kalen played for the Redskins, he's wide receiver. Most prop bets may come onto the point where Kalen, he'll have 50 plus yards. You take the over under on that.
Okay.
So I would bet, if I bet the over, that means he has to have more than 50 receiving yards.
Okay.
Or if it's 2 or more touchdowns, you can bet who scores the first touchdown. You can bet. You can bet. The first play of the game will be a passing play. First touchdown will either be offense, defense, or special teams.
Okay.
So you could get real creative, and prop bets has been the thing now, especially with the FanDuel and the DraftKings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it was a bet the other day.
I already know where you going.
Somebody bet 50 cent, and they won 130,000.
100. I thought you was gonna say $130. I was about to say that's nice.
Nah.
130,000.
I seen the joint and I had to.
You had the screen cap.
I had to send it to Mickey. Here it goes right here.
Okay, let me
and
see.
I'm gonna show it on the camera. 50 cents.
50 cent.
Total wager 50 cents. And what is he betting?
First field goals. But that's super hard.
Yeah.
First field goals. I see up here.
So that basically means the first shot.
Okay.
Who gonna make the first shot at each game?
Oh, he bet 50 cents. All of these bets only cost him 50 cents together.
Well, basically, when we haven't gotten into the different terms, but then basically what he's explained, that's a parlay.
Okay.
So a parlay is when you combine one or more bet.
Okay.
2 or more bets.
Okay.
So when that happens, when you combine in more bets, every bet in that parlay has to hit for you to win.
Okay, so you can't do like a half parlay. It's got
you gotta hit everyone.
It's the whole thing.
I just need to know.
When I think, what was that like? What is it? Top? It say 6 legs.
6 legs.
6 leg parlay.
Yeah.
So he bet a 16 parlay, and he bet who will hit the first field goal in each of those games, and he was correct on all of them.
And what I'm amazed at is that he was able to only make a 50 cent wager on all of, you know what I'm saying? Because it feels like a lot.
The odds is crazy.
The odds is so hard.
Basically, you got to think the chances of you hitting the first shot for the team you play for, you hitting the shot, she hitting the shot, me hitting the shot, and then combining all that together on one ticket.
Yeah,
and we all got to do it.
It's like the lottery.
Yeah, I mean, I see that's like the lottery. It's like when you buy the $20 ticket.
Will work out like that.
Yeah, it's like when you buy the $20 ticket and be like, you could win $1 million. You be like, the chances of me winning $1 million on this $20 ticket is like slim to none. Like, you're gonna win $50 and you're gonna be happy about it. But I didn't realize, so the minimum bet on these parlays or the minimum bet on any wager can be very small.
Well, yeah, so it can be like some sites you can't do less than $5. Some sites maybe $1. But like on FanDuel or whatever, I think it's like 1 cent maybe.
Okay.
And how crazy you want to get.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
And I think I screenshot this because I saw you post it, and I was like, dang, and I wasn't able to play any today.
I'm quitting my job.
But ever since I saw that, and I saw that last Friday.
Okay.
My goal is to play at least $1.
Okay.
On something so hard, something crazy.
Right.
On like a 5-game first field goal.
He probably took 100 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like $1.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because if you do 100 different scenarios at 50 cents each,
that's $50.
Yeah, it's $50, and there it is, and it paid out 130,000. That's crazy because I'm quitting my job when I win it.
No,
wire it to my account. I'm done.
Yeah.
The joint will play with your emotions.
Depending on who you betting through, you may get taxed.
Okay, because it's gonna happen.
If you're offshore or something, there's ways, or you got your local bookie or whatever, you can get on the table, but.
And that is something you need to know because the IRS will come for you at the end of the year with their G form. Come give me my money. That. Yes.
Let's talk about that a little more because I've always been curious to know like how that works. Even when you're in the casino and you on the blackjack table or the roulette joint and you winning big. But it's like I've always heard because like my dad, like I've gone to Vegas and my dad is real big in the gambling. Okay. Very big. And it's like I remember going in, winning $200, and I'm come home bragging like, Dad, I came up. He was like, oh, you did? He was like, did they give you a slip, a tax form? Yeah. And I'm like, what?
That mean you ain't come up for
he's like, you playing. Yeah, like that. But like I said, he's the type, he goes out and plays like poker games like every Friday night. Like he'll travel to like Charlottesville tonight. Wow. To play poker. And comes back with wise money.
So the tax form usually comes after you win a certain amount. So that's what your dad was getting. I think it's 5 G's, isn't it?
I think it's 10.
Okay.
So it's 10,000.
Yeah, and that's when they give you this. We want to know how much money you bring home because we need to tax it.
A lot of times we could do too. A lot of what people do, they'll break up their bets. So if they know they're gonna go put $100, say they go put $100 on this 10-team parlay that win them 100,000. Well, no, that's a bad example. Say if they put $100 on a ticket that'll bring them that can bring them 10,000. They'll split it up in 2 tickets and say, "Give me 2 $50 tickets."
Okay.
So then it'll be 5 and 5. Then they can kind of duck and dodge.
Gotcha.
Quarter whatever. But
yes,
they definitely try to get these membership cards and try to calculate you whatever. I remember one time I was down MGM, but not MGM, Capital One, and I walk in. Your man Heist has a drink, going off on the people at the window because they was like he ain't had no card. And he had like a big ticket. They was pressing him. They was trying to tax him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What you mean?" Ooh, he was going. He was like, "Give me the manager." But they ended up paying him out. But like they serious about that.
Yeah, because they need to be able to account for it too. Yeah. After a certain amount, we need to know.
That's why a lot of people don't even go to like those establishments or betting on the fan dudes or whatever, because they definitely come and get their money.
Oh yeah.
So you said you have like the personal ones.
Correct. You got a lot of local books.
So like, do they own how do they get their fees? Because
breaking legs.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, in the betting game, it's more losers than winners. So they getting theirs off the people that's losing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And a lot of people, and again, Vegas works in the favors of the bookies and of course themselves, because they are a bookie.
They are the bookie. Yes.
Yeah.
They set their lines, and it's be pretty spot on. You know what I mean? Like for instance, I took a bet last night. This is a different type of bet. You can bet first half, second halves. Okay. So yesterday I took a second half bet, and it was a Georgetown game. I forget who they was playing, but I took the other team -5.5. And then I took the over in that game. I think the over was like 76. The over went to be like almost 90-some points. Okay. But then I needed the other team to win by 6 or more. Okay. In that second half, and they won by 5. The spread was 5.5.
Because you did 5.5.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like, damn. And it was spot on. So like they be pretty accurate.
I want to know who they got working that they get these spot on situations.
They are the line. They are sports.
Cause that's so back to Kaylin's conspiracy theory, right? Is like you either believe that they have some next level mathematicians working for them that can calculate out to the minute, or you believe that they said it and the team does it.
They say it might be rigged. Yeah, I mean, and even it's been stories of, I was watching one on one of them shows. It was a series. I think it's called Baller's Life or something like that. Okay. Or Bad Sports. I think it's called Bad Sports. And it was a college player, and he hooked up with some big wig guy that had a lot of money, a lot of cash, and they were shaving points. So that's a whole nother aspect of it, where guys have gotten caught shaving points, and basically that means is I'm
about to say explain.
I'm a star player. Okay, and my team. I know that my team is favored by 6. I win the game, but I'm hooking up with a guy that's betting hundreds of thousands that the other team is going to cover 5.5 points. I got to make sure we don't win by 6.
Oh, okay. So we can win, but we only win by 4. Okay,
correct. Or we lose. So a lot of people, they were doing that to control the games, to help different people win lots of money. Okay. Which, of course, the government and law enforcement jumped on that, and a lot of people have sat and did jail time for that. Oh wow. Yeah, it's real.
Because that's the junk. What's the baseball player that always Pete Rose or
I think
that everybody always says like he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But he got caught betting. Yeah, on the games as a player, or whatever. Right. And that backfired on him.
And they made a movie, Blue Chips. Okay. Shaq was in it.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
That was about a lot of the guys in college shaving points. College basketball, and I don't know too much about football, but college basketball was like really popular in shaving points.
I can imagine.
They was getting into the college guys. They ain't making no money.
They ain't got no money.
They getting into their heads. You know what I mean? And just check it out though. It's called Bad Sports, and I forget what the guy's name is. Black guy. He was like that.
Okay.
And he got hooked up with that dude though, and was shaving them points. He was bringing on like 15, 20 bands.
I bet he was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Splurging.
Exactly.
Nah, it's a real thing with the players, because I remember when Sean Taylor passed away from the Redskins, and you know he's from down there in Miami, the Florida area, as well as so many other players like the Clinton Portis, Santana Moss. But I remember hearing Santana Moss came out and was just talking about like the environment. But he was like basically talking about the betting while they're in high school or whatever, because there's so much pressure on them because they're these star athletes in high school in a rough area of Miami, that the local drug dealers are coming to these games, placing these same bets like Z's talking about on these high school kids or the teams or whatever. And it's like, oh, if your team lose or win, whichever one, I'm gonna hook you up, and that's how they surviving in the hood at high school.
Yeah, I mean that's pressure. That's gonna make it.
Yeah, because it's like, do I want to lose and risk losing my life now?
Right, and also I want to win anyway or whatever. You know what I mean? The case may be, and then I can get paid. And which is the problem with college sports in general, right? Is like, well, it has been the problem up until recently, right? I think they're allowed to like cash in on their likenesses now or something like that.
Yeah. Now they can do a lot of that. They can get endorsements. They can do a lot. They can sell this stuff. They can basically like brand themselves. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
which is something, a lot of things that they weren't able to do up until recently, which kept them, one, broke and maybe shaving points and all the things, right? But two, kept the big schools in control of them because the boosters was giving them money and they had all the money, and then kept them at the white schools as opposed to going elsewhere. Because if I can cash in on my likeness, why can't I go to Howard or why can't I go to wherever and make
Jackson
that a big
State,
school?
You know, that with Dion now.
I'm excited to see how that's going to turn the industry, right?
It's doing some turning because this is like the second year they in it.
Okay.
And Jackson State got like the number 2 prospect in the nation.
Yeah, he was supposed to go to like Florida State.
Florida State or something. He changed his mind and went to Jackson State.
Yeah, because primetime is there.
Yeah, so
I'm going where primetime is at.
Real.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how that's going to work.
And I don't want to take us too far off the convo, but it's still a risk.
Oh yeah,
because Dion is Dion. We get it. Jackson State is still Jackson State. And Florida State is still Florida State.
Yeah, for a while. Right, but you got to swing the momentum.
You do, but then it's like, I don't know. It's just still a risky thing because when them scouts started come for pro day, they going to the Florida Gators, Florida State first. Now they will come to Jackson State
because you are number 2, so they are gonna come.
They gonna know about you,
and because primetime is there, so I'm gonna go check it out. I think I won't say it only works, but it works because that dude is number 2 and that's primetime, right? Like, so it helps to swing the pendulum a little bit, but I do know what you're saying. It is still risky.
A little. And
right.
Another risk about it is that the level of competition.
That's what I was thinking. You might get rusty out here.
Yeah, right now it's just a few guys making the switch. So like, you know what I mean? So you go and you might be starting this league, but who are you playing against?
Right. Yeah. And you was already a star, so it's hard to see.
Everybody is doing it.
Then
it's
but somebody got to sit on the bus first.
And it started. Like you said, the movement has started.
Somebody got to be Rosa, okay? And that's just it. But I agree, because then not only is it hard for scouts to evaluate how good you are against other folks, it also could damage you, right? Because you out here thinking, because you could turn down the knob a little bit, given that I'm already that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here. And so when you start stomping on people, you don't have to elevate your game as much. I'll say it that way.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So I can see that. Anyway, I don't know a lot about sports. I know that.
You sound like you know a lot about it.
Listen, I know.
You got us talking about it. Yeah.
I know. I read that in an article about Forbes because they were talking about the industry. But I can see how the industry would move. My mind works in that way. Econ.
Gotcha.
That's it. That's it.
Gotcha.
All right, well, I'm happy about it. I'm learning. I have things. I'm going home and take a look.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. So when it comes to the different sports and the things that you can bet on, do you have a preference? Because like I know, and I'm not going to assume, but I am going to assume that you don't watch too much baseball and golf, tennis,
and hockey.
Hockey,
yeah.
But you bet on it.
Correct.
So would you, out of your experience, would you say there's a, it's better to bet on one versus the other?
I would say betting on what you know, depending on who you are. For me, football, I know football and basketball, of course, more than I know those other sports. I've found different strategies that worked in my favor. Not always, but like for me, when I bet soccer games, I try not to do parlays because they so hit or miss.
Yeah.
So I'll try to do more straight bets. Also, what I do more live bets when I'm betting those soccer games.
Okay.
Because I can evaluate how the game is going and be like, okay, cool, let me jump on this live bet. I'm going to take this under.
That's smart.
Stuff like that. So I try to, do that, and I found more success that way. And other times, you get shocked. But most of the time, you good. But baseball for me is hard because it's so much going on. Again, like I mentioned, you got the COVID going on now in every sport. So that's really taking a toll on a lot. But also with baseball, you got different pitches. You don't know, you don't know who's who. You don't know who might be playing tonight. So that's a big thing. Before in basketball, it wasn't that bad, but now it really is because, again, like I mentioned, load management, you got the COVID thing going on. Just about a month ago, almost every team in the NBA, it was like a widespread COVID across the league. And everybody had guys that were playing on 10-day contracts. So you didn't even know who was playing these games. So it's hard to kind of, predict how these games going to go.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's a lot of that can go into it. But for me, of course, I like betting on football.
Okay. Gotcha.
More. But only thing is, with football, you got Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Basketball every day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
You got baseball when it's on, it's every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. So it's more to bet on than those other sports.
Gotcha. Okay. So we know you can win big in all the gambling. You can really win big on parlays. What's your take on the parlays? Do you, of course you like them when you win.
Yeah.
But you don't like them when you don't.
Yeah, I've heard over the past few years, like the people that really bet that real money on betting, they don't do parlays.
Right.
I'm a parlay guy though, because I want a low risk, high reward.
Okay.
So I'm doing my parlays, and it's so sad though because I'm always one game away.
One game.
Like I told you yesterday, I was half a point away.
Yeah.
It'd be like crazy moments that you just be like unheard of. Like I remember one time I think I took like an 18 parlay. I think I was supposed to win like $6,000. I think I bet maybe $30-$40. Win like $6,000. And it was a game. I forget what game it was, but it was a team that was supposed to win. And it was a football game, and they did something stupid at the end of the game that caused the other team to win. And it'd be a split second. You waiting all day. You waiting on that
last
you talking about 10 o'clock games. It'd be 9 o'clock.
You don't fall asleep.
Yeah, and I ain't like we talked about before. I ain't working no more, so I'm up.
Yeah.
So I'm up. It's 9-10 o'clock. I'm waiting to the end of this game that I probably wouldn't even really watch. And then something done happen. $6,000 on the line.
So let me ask you about a strategy as far as that's concerned. Each one of your, so if you had like an 18 game parlay, right? Each one of those could have been an individual bet.
Correct.
Okay, so that's first. And then second, you could break your parlay into pieces, meaning that you could do a parlay with 18. You could do the same parlay with 17 and slice one off. You could do the same parlay again with 16, slice one off. But each one would progressively pay less.
Correct. Okay. Based on how much you bet.
Based on how much I bet. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm thinking about 50 cents. I'm thinking how I'm about to stack these things.
Yeah, I see when you have bet 17, I'm like, you doing some math in your head.
That, though, like I was talking to my brother, and even you'll be surprised, even in like jails.
Okay.
Betting is like crazy. They bet commissary. No, really. Like,
of course.
No, it's dead serious. They commissary, they bet their money or whatever. And like my uncle, he's incarcerated right now, and he'll call me like, look, man, I need you to pay for this membership so they get inside information. Company out here selling inside information, sending them a newspaper, they reading up on it, reading the lines, trying to study. And like they would really do this. So my brother was telling me when he was locked up, he would basically put in like $21 tickets.
Okay.
Parlay different ways, and he said he'd just be hitting them joints. So same concept, but like you gotta have time to sit and do it. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, because in my mind, I think of it almost like the Powerball. You know how Powerball has progressive payouts. So if you get 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, like as you go, you get a payout. So the more numbers you hit, the more the bigger your payout is. So you could stack your parlays like a staircase from 1 to 6. I'm on it. Okay, or 2 to 6.
Another thing.
Okay.
Right now they're doing. FanDuel just got popular. DraftKings just got popular. Like these are more of the apps that operate now. They'll do that. Like if you have a 10-team parlay and 9 of them hit, and you wait on that last game. They will offer you a cash out, much less than what you're supposed to win if you win.
Deal or no deal.
Cash out early.
Yes.
Like dude I went to college with. He bet. I forget what he bet. I think it was like a 16 leg. 15 of them right. He was waiting on one game. He cashed out and took like 15,000. And he could have had over 100 if he would have waited. Yeah,
it's like deal or no deal. You want to open this last suitcase?
Yeah, I'm taking my money. No, he took the cash out and it
hit. I know.
And we went viral on Instagram. Everybody was like, "Oh man!" I told him like, "A win is a win."
It is.
But in my mind, I'm like, if it was me though, I probably would have rolled it out because it's like I only bet 30. I'm not the type. It's all how you think as a person.
Yeah,
I'm not the type of person who will say I put a $30 bet in and I could have won $1,500.
Yeah,
but I ain't cash out. I'm the type of person like I put 30 in to win 100,000.
Okay,
yeah. And, you know what I mean? Yeah, 15 can. I might have could have got that 15, but I only put up $30. So I'm gonna look at it as
you didn't lose 15 grand. You lost 30.
You didn't lose 15.
Yeah,
that's a good mindset to have.
It all depends on who you are, how you think. But I mean, kudos to him. He still
got 15 grand, and a bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush.
Safe route.
Yeah, so
that's why you don't be on the game shows because you got to be risky. Okay,
they offer them early cash outs.
And I wonder if they offer the early cash outs every time, or if you can use that to figure out whether you should take it or not. Because if they don't offer it every time, and they offering it to me, I'm staying in line because that means they know something I don't know.
Nah, it's gonna be every time.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you're getting like, I think it may starts at once you get like a certain amount of those wins from that parlay. So if you got like a 10 team, I think maybe after the 3rd or 4th one, they'll start offering you something. And as you get closer to winning that ticket, it'll go up. Okay. And then, but it's a lot of pressure.
It is.
So Z told me that before, some time ago that, like they'll offer you. So I told you how I had a six player parlay, this past week. And I was sitting there, and mine is small money, but I was like, I'm hoping I just get a little alert that say, do you want to cash out for $400? Because I'm sitting there waiting on Odell Beckham on a Monday night game. But it's like, you got to have that big money though.
Okay. Then you got to be ready to win the thing. And they want to, hey, I'd rather pay you this 15 grand than this 100 grand. So come on, cash me out.
Yeah. And it's just there. You got to wait and you got to sit there and think the whole time. And as the game go along, because even while the game's going on,
it gets bigger.
They'll lower it at some point. So it's like if the game going on, and it might, because I think the dude that cashed off for 15, he could have cashed off for maybe like 17, 18. Probably like an hour before, sometime shortly before then. Okay. But based on how the game was going, they lowered it. Okay. And then the other team still end up winning.
Okay. Look at that.
Crazy.
Yeah. So digging a little bit into your personal, what's some of the things that you have purchased with some of your winnings?
For me, I've never really won some money and went and just purchase them. I always
and like just splurge.
Yeah, I always just put the money in the account and just pay a little different stuff.
Yeah.
I may feel like I'm up a little bit. I might go, gradually buy something, but never like want nothing with one big purchase. But I can speak on my uncle because when the pandemic hit, remember there was no sports.
Oh, right.
They, on a lot of the sites, they were putting esports on there. So you can bet on the video games. So this time you can bet on Madden. So, and it was computerized Madden games, simulated games. You don't know who.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
My uncle put, I want to say maybe put like $40 or $60 or something. It could have been less, but it was on like a 12-teamer.
Okay.
And he won $11,000.
Okay.
And he on all Madden games. He cashed out on board of Benz.
Right.
Dang.
That's crazy. And I know esports is a new thing, right? Like that's something that I used to work at the convention center in DC, and right before I left, so a couple years ago, it's been a while now, but they had just hired an esports manager. And that became a thing. Like they are pushing esports in different ways, and when you start to see it, like when we were in Vegas, we saw different, like there was like an esports entrance over here on the side, and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, with this whole metaverse giant, like I just seen something about these video games, and it's some deal that's out. I think it's Microsoft is involved with something. I guess they about to get into the video game business with this whole metaverse stuff. But yeah.
Let me buy a house in the metaverse just in case. I need to just,
I'm just
buy some real estate just in case.
Parlay so I can do all that stuff.
Okay, I understand. Listen, I get it. So we want to kind of bring us around. Do you talk? So I know that you have a sports podcast.
Correct.
What is the name of said sports podcast again?
Reedy and Z Sports Talk.
Reedy and Z.
Reedy, yeah.
Yes.
Reedy.
Oh, Reedy. Oh, Reedy. Okay. All right, got it. Do you guys talk about sports betting on your podcast?
We do. Actually, a segment on there, I call it Z's Bets.
Oh, okay.
So every week, I'm giving 3 straight bets and a parlay that I suggest.
Okay.
I like that.
On the games.
Again, at your own risk. But I'm going to be tuned in because I need to figure out what's happening, okay?
I like that. I like that. So you about to download your apps?
Yeah, I've already downloaded it. I just don't have my card information saved in my phone. So when I get outside, I'll put it in here. Because right now on this particular app, they're matching your deposit up to $100. So
yeah.
So only thing about those two.
Okay, give me.
So they consider rollovers. So if you take a bonus, you have to bet a certain amount before you can withdraw. So like say for instance, if you do put in $100 and they do 100% bonus,
okay,
they gonna match your 100.
Yeah.
So now you got $200 to bet with. But if the rollover is like 10 times, you got to basically bet 10 times of that. So you got to, you know what I mean, if you're winning and winning and winning, you could probably hit your first parlay and be up $2,000-$3,000, but you can't withdraw the money.
Oh, okay.
You haven't met that rollover requirement.
Okay, so I need to read that.
Pay attention to what. Anytime they offer you a bonus, be like, all right, what's the stipulation?
Okay, got it. I will do that. You see the man giving you the tips. Okay,
yeah, that's a lot of inside people don't know.
Yeah,
that's going on.
It's kind of like when the casino give you extra chips, you can't cash those out, right? You must bet these. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got it. No rollover for me.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll use my little 75 the way I want to use my little 75. Thank you.
So, getting back into future picks because we're away from the Super Bowl.
I'm about to look right now.
Can you, because I've heard sometimes, I guess, using the Super Bowl as an example, like on these sports talk radios, they'll say like Vegas already had, or the odds.
Correct.
Vegas already has the odds of whatever it might be. I think the Bills and the Packers are going to Super Bowl.
Okay.
Can I place that bet right now?
Yes. So basically, depending on who you place it through, they may offer scenarios of you can pick the teams that will play.
Okay.
Maybe. I haven't. It's very rare, but I've seen some wild offerings now. So I would check like the FanDuels and stuff like that. They offer more than a different variety of things. But at the beginning of the season, up until the Super Bowl, you can bet. Well, not up until the Super Bowl. I think certain part of the playoffs, you can bet who you think will be in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Of course, the odds are much higher at the beginning of the season because you're kind of blindly picking versus if you did it now, you're kind of limited to which teams. Can do it. But you can still place a future bet today on who makes the Super Bowl.
Got you. And go ahead.
It probably still be good money, like something like that. Say if it's plus 900 that the Bills make the Super Bowl, you put $100 on that. You want your quick 1,000. Yeah, because
that's a legit bet that I'm trying to find or find out about. Yeah. Because I legit believe that they gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to see because, like I said, I hear about it oftentimes. But that also leads me to another question because I've heard pregame, let's just say Redskins or WFT kicking off at 1:00. I made my bet at 10 a.m. and they were favored plus or -3, right? But then something happens, or so I placed my bet at 10, but then right at 12:55, the kicker sprains his ankle, and then I've heard on the radio they'll say, well, the odds have dropped. Now it's -1. Because I placed my bet at 10 a.m., does that hold for me or does it change because, like, as the kicker has gotten hurt? Yeah.
So basically, when you place your bet, whatever you get it at is what you get it at.
Gotcha. So, that's good.
So in that scenario, like you're saying, it could be injury, it can be, a lot of times it's injuries at that point, or coach just decide this player is not playing today. And it happens up to the point, similar to with fantasy, you know, what I mean? You find out last minute about stuff. Yeah. So a lot of times people may see a line like, oh yeah, dang, the Cowboys and the Redskins playing, and they, you know what I mean, Cowboys favored by 3. I know they can beat them by more than that, so they'll jump on that. But then that can be what the spread was on Wednesday. Yeah. On Sunday, it could be the Redskins favored by 3 because Dak ain't playing no more.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of things could happen up until that point.
Gotcha.
But you can keep your line, whatever that was.
Whatever you locked it in at that when you placed your ticket, that's what you locked in at. So a lot of times I always try to wait closer to the start time of the game, just in case anything else pops up.
Some sketchy happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. So before we wrap you, can we do a sports pick on this here? I got 4 games.
She better get some insight.
I just want to know. Because I want to be able to play this back after the games and be like, what was his accuracy like? And I don't want to know, though. You don't even got to give me a spread. Just give me who you think is going to win the game. So these are the 4. This is the playoff situation. Okay. So we got for the football, since we close to the situation. So we got the Titans versus the Bengals. Who taking it?
So I think I said a bet earlier.
I want to say Bengals.
Okay.
The Titans have been kind of locked in. And you saying just winners?
Just win. Yeah, I ain't saying spreads. Just who gonna take it?
So I picked the Bengals
back too.
Because what was the spread on that earlier? Like,
it's 3.5 now.
Yeah. So I picked the Bengals on the money line.
+1, okay.
On the money line, but then I was like, but maybe I go the safe route and just go with the over. Yeah.
I had to go back to my definition.
I would say, for me, I want to pick the Bengals. I'd say the Bengals, even though I know the Titans
will probably go and win.
Okay.
I'd say the Bengals.
But I think it's going to be a close game.
That's going to be a close game.
But that's why I said I would go Bengals plus.
Oh, you would do the spread
or because the spread, yeah.
Because it's okay, because it's going to be a tight game. Got it.
Even win or lose by maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
Or even if they lose by 3, you still cover because it's 3.5.
Okay.
But they're not going to get whooped.
Okay.
Titans ain't that type of team.
Okay.
Even with Derrick Henry playing. You don't even know who that is, probably.
Do not. Do not.
But they got their star running back from a broken foot.
Oh, all right.
He ain't played in some months.
Okay.
Weeks,
yeah. But he's coming back tomorrow.
With a broken foot. Ooh, Jesus. So then you got the Chiefs and the Bills.
Chiefs and the Bills, I'm going to take the Bills.
Is Andy Reid still coaching for the Chiefs?
Yes.
I see you know.
Because I'm a Philly fan, and so
okay.
I just follow where Andy went for a little while, see what he was doing over there. And I was upset that he went to the Chiefs and got a Super Bowl. I was like, how many years? How many? But we ended up getting our own. We got our one little in our Lombardi case, and I promise you, I really haven't paid attention to football since we got our Super Bowl. When we got our ring, I was like, I'm done. I can quit the whole sport. I'm good. But okay. So would you say you got the Bills on that one? All right. Okay.
You know, I got the Bills.
You got the Bills. Okay, so on the NFC side, we got the Packers and the 49ers.
Packers.
And I might even take the Packers on the spread.
Okay.
Whatever, because the spread was like what?
5.5.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
But see, that's the little scary part of me. Because when I seen the joint early, I was like, I'll probably just go money line to be safe. Yeah. But I would want to win some money. And
the money line pays you less than the spread. Because the spread means it's a more precise bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah, because if the Packers might win.
The favorite team on the money line,
it pays you less. Unless you're paying the underdog on the money line, that's more. Listen, I'm still okay. We doing a refresher. This is a refresher. Okay, then Bucks and Rams.
Rams.
Okay, you got Rams. So now I'm gonna take it down. So if you got the Bucks and the Rams, you taking the Rams. So that means Rams and Packers.
I like the Rams to go to the Super Bowl.
You like the Rams for the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so on the other side, Bills versus the Bengals.
Bills.
So that means y'all got in the Super Bowl the Bills and the Rams.
He got Bills and Rams. I got Bills and Packers.
You got Bills and Packers. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Y'all heard it here first. I'm going home, rewatch the episode, write it all down. Okay, so I can figure out what I'm about to do with these. And I'm going to text y'all when I win. But when I lose too, though.
we real quick before we wrap up, because this is how I won my money last week.
Okay, yes, because Caleb won big dollars.
The 600. Yeah, I mean, that's big for me.
I'm excited about 5, and he got 6.
Small for y'all, because I know y'all like to win the 2000s and all that. But it's big for me. It was a big step.
Okay.
But the way I won was not betting on the teams. I bet on the individuals.
Oh.
And that's something we really didn't even get into.
Because we call those prop bets, right? Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
And so, like, you'd always, so I will always play the teams because that's the simple thing.
Yeah.
But then you might get home with Anthony and he might have some more knowledge.
Yes.
So I can guarantee you it's probably a bet out there on Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Who broke his foot.
Oh, to see
because like he dominated so much of his time.
Okay.
It might be a bet out there. Is Derrick Henry going to get over or under
on his rushing yards?
On rushing yards.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might say, and I'm probably going to say, I don't know, but let's just say if it was like 120 or 130.
Okay.
And you say over, you can probably win you some money because I don't think he's going to rush for over no 130. Right. I don't know first game back.
Okay.
Anthony might say, Candace, put 200 down.
Oh, he on crack because I'm not doing it.
It's over under 82.5.
Right now it's 82.
Oh yeah, so that's even
okay.
He might get over 82. Yeah, but see, this is the fun part of betting.
Okay. So my final question is, since we ended on prop bets, do they do prop bets for the Olympics? Because these are individual sports, right?
They do.
Okay.
I think they do. They do.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to win the different...
the golds and the silvers and the things. Okay.
I'm going to be betting on that.
Be betting on some figure skaters. No.
And unfortunately, USA don't be winning everything.
Hey, you got to take who winning. It's about your pockets, okay? Line your pockets, all right? Because in the winter games, you got to go with the white countries and the white sports, okay? Because they be cold and they be doing it, okay?
But they got
exactly.
Jamaica got a bobsled team this year.
Oh, do they?
The first time in like
bobsled team.
The first time in like
Asians.
20 years or something.
Yes, come on, Cool Runners. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But I was about to say now too, what they do, it's a lot of different groups that form, like on Telegram.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
A lot of different, because basically what you have is cappers, and these are people who are considered sports analysts.
Okay.
That they sell their information.
Oh.
To say if Kaylin.
That's insider trading. Is what that is.
If I'm a sports capper and I'm selling, I may say you can get a 30-day membership for $1,000.
Oh, and they're giving you all the insider.
I send him picks
Okay.
Every day. So they that's basically what the Kappas are. They was getting money for a long time, but now people are trying to come at the Kappas. So you getting a lot of smaller groups of guys. They kind of teaming up, forming their own little Kappa groups, and also like even people giving out free picks.
Okay.
Where it's like, for instance, it's this group out there that basically they get all the picks from the Kappas and give it to you free Monday through Friday.
Okay.
But on Saturday and Sunday, if you want the weekend package, you just throw them like $25, $30.
Okay.
How they make their money.
Oh.
But it's like I was saying, ever since the pandemic hit, everybody finding ways to make money.
Creative ways.
They finding their way, and they trying to help you get money.
And they trying to help you get money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like insider trading.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is like inside.
It's crazy.
So many things to know. I've learned so much tonight. I feel like I have so much useless trivia in my head, but this one I'm gonna try to put to use. I really do. Like, it's so funny. I was on the phone with my cousin earlier, and she was like, "Why do you know that?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I have just useless things roaming around here, but it's okay. This is gonna be put to use."
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yes, and I'm gonna win some money, and I'm gonna send you a screenshot.
I already know you about to win.
Oh yeah, I'm on it. Don't worry about
luck.
it. Yeah, beginner's luck. Okay. I got strategies for slot machines.
I already know you about to.
It is. It do.
I already know you about to hit.
It's how it's the way. It's kind of like when I don't know. I'm gonna say the story. It's probably not gonna relate to y'all because y'all are men, but most young girls, especially girls who are my age, would know when a boy invited you to play, or like you played with your cousins, played like Sega. You was just pressing all the buttons at the same time and be whooping his, and don't know what you doing, but like literally out here just pressing all the buttons, and they call it beginner's luck. But this is what I'm about to do on this app. I'm about to just blind shoot everything, and I'll let y'all know how it turns out.
Just don't be like my sister.
Okay.
Betting on 25 assists on Bradley Beal.
25.
I feel like I know that. I feel like I know.
Yeah,
I feel like I got some boundaries.
She came over here and was like, "What? That's a good bet, right?" I was like, "But she had beginner luck and won 400 her first time."
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, well, I hope y'all learned a way to put some of your play money to use, and hopefully it becomes a way that you can put a little change in your pocket, maybe even put some money back in your business to reinvest, to do some things.
Yeah, do something good with it.
Do some good with it. Don't go out here and buy Fendi. Do some good. I mean, Fendi ain't bad, but do some good, okay? Do that new website update that you needed to do, okay? All of those things. Invest in a new back-end system. Get your shipping together. Get that together with your money that you make from your parlays.
Yeah.
Or quit your job. Your day job, because I promise you, if I was on that 130, I would quit my day job. And I'm like, this is it. This is it. Because you're not getting 130 from even if you make 130 at your day job, you're not getting 130. Nah. You know what I'm saying? You getting, by the time you get taxed, you getting 60,000 ish, 70, 80, but you're not getting it. So if they gonna give me 130, I'm quitting.
Nah, the very first time when I saw Z post the 50 cent joint last Friday, I put $2.50 on, like $2.50.
Let's be clear.
Not $2.50. I put $2.50 on like 6 of those first field goals. Okay. I think my winnings was like 420,000. Okay. Had I won.
Had you won.
I was already thinking about what I'm about to do with this money.
I'm telling you. And when you place in your bet, it's like you just know it's gonna hit.
Because every bet is a good bet.
Yeah,
it's never a bad bet.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean, unless you do like
25
some outlandish something.
Unless you do
that, something like that.
Used to go out Dover, place a ticket. Say if I go drive out Dover on a Thursday or Friday, place my ticket for the weekends. Sit in the house Sunday, waiting, checking off my. Just know it's gonna hit. Always that one game. Okay. You'd be sick.
That's how we gonna title this episode. Always that one game. That's always. Stream Chasers, you can catch Ree and Z, right? Reedy and Z. Why do I want to rename him to Ree, but Reedy and Z on the podcast. How often y'all broadcast?
We were doing weekly. We kind of had a little hiccup. Okay. We kind of hit both of our homes strong.
Oh, right.
So we wasn't able to do a few episodes, but we were doing it weekly. We was breaking it up in 3 parts per week.
Oh, okay.
But we're actually about to do an off-season review.
Okay.
Nice.
To the off-season. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. So you can catch Reedy and Z and get you some insider pick information, okay? You can also catch Z. What's your Instagram-y Facebooky, whatever things. Great clothing line.
At GR8 Clothing Line.
Yes. Where y'all see TD Jakes out here flexing in his great, okay?
Right.
All right. Right. And then for us, you know where we are, because that's how you hear. But anyway, it's www.streamchasers.work, because Stream Chasers
do the work.
We on the Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcasts, the Spotify's, and the YouTubes.
Yep.
Okay, that's where you're seeing us live today.
Yep.
And with that, just got paid.